Lady Noble 365 Tarot. Welcome to my channel. I greatly appreciate you being here. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I trust you'll love this vibe. And everything you need to know about me is in the description below. This could be past, present, or future, you or someone around you. So take what resonates and leave the rest for someone else. This is a general read. This is not a personal read. If you like a personal read, check out the description below, and I'll be happy to assist you with doing so. Keep in mind that tarot is a tool. It is not the final rule. Okay? It's a good idea to have an empty cup when you're on Lady Noble's channel and you really want to see what's up. Be with you in 1 second. Yeah. Hope you all are doing wonderful today. Thank you for your kindness and support and being a lovely sport, okay? As you see, I have the divination board out today, and before we get started, we're going to do 2 deep breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth. We're going to hold for 3 seconds. Let's breathe in. Release. Breathe in. Release. Okay, so now I'll give you a few moments to think of the question that you would like to ask Spirit. Okay, I'll begin the pendulum. Okay, the consistency that I have collective is March, April, Taurus, Aries, yes, Tuesday, Saturday, Libra, Scorpio, October. The consistency that I have collective is March, April, Aries, Taurus, Tuesday, yes, Libra, Scorpio, and October. So take that into account of whatever question you ask. Only you know the question that you ask. That pertains to you and your situation. Okay. The first card that we have here is number 2, the 5 of hearts. Okay. We have the 5 of hearts. It says the moon, when near, is a good omen. It predicts fortune when distant in exposure of secrets. So basically, this energy here is speaking, to the connection of nature and being able to recognize good omens, an omen that may be trying to alert you. It doesn't always mean that something is going to happen or occur in a negative way. But for those who know, and there could be something that you are waiting to see fulfilled or happen. You could be working on something in your life and you are trusting that there's going to be a positive outcome. This is something you're remaining very optimistic about. And so the moon, when it's near, when it's in full view, it's saying that there's good fortune that is headed your way. So I'm picking up there's something that you're working on, collective. And this could be many things, okay? This could be something you're building, something you're creating. I'm picking up someone could be saving to make a large purchase, okay? Someone wants to buy a ring. That just popped up. I even saw the ring. Very beautiful. Maybe someone is going to propose. So congratulations if you are engaged or you're planning to get married. But someone is preparing to have a positive outcome. So this could be receiving yes, to an engagement or a wedding proposal. This could be you purchasing a home, purchasing a vehicle, or having a good turnaround with a business idea. Something that you're trusting, not just trusting, you're confident that it's going to be a positive outcome. This is something that you truly believe in. You're very confident in the outcome, that you will benefit from this in some kind of way. This could be something that could create a stream of income, some kind of financial blessing as well for you. And so we have the King of Clubs here. It says the bear is a sign of successful speculations. The bear is a sign of successful speculation. So, as I said, you're very passionate, you're very motivated, and you're encouraged about the outcome of this project or this next move that you're going to make in your life. Something you're building and creating, you're investing your time and energy in. This could be a relationship. This could be a business partnership. This could be you, like I said, buying your first home, maybe buying a car, starting a business, something about a grant. Maybe you're waiting to receive approval for a grant that you applied for, and it's going to help you jumpstart some kind of business idea. But either way, you're believing in the process, and Spirit is saying that is exactly where you need to be, is believing and trusting in the process. Okay, a lot of optimism here, a lot of high vibrational energy. You're very motivated. People about you see that you're motivated. Lots of smiles and laughter, very passionate. Okay, you're living the life you've always dreamed of. This could also be something that as a small child you always had an interest in, this skill, this hobby, this career, and you are blessed and fortunate enough to live out your dreams. Not just blessed and fortunate, I must say you have put in the work that is necessary. If you haven't put in the work, we know expectations are slim to none, but you are someone who has applied themselves when it comes to your personal life and pursuing the lifestyle that you desire. So basically, what I'm conveying is, if you're someone who desire to have options and have the finer things in life and not be so restricted, you've chosen to maybe go to school to further your education. Maybe you've chosen to be financially frugal when it comes to your income and your relationship with money. You're very responsible. You know how to prioritize. This could mean a lot of things, whether this is you obtaining, I'm hearing, a business degree or a PhD in some kind of fashion, okay? Or this could be you becoming an entrepreneur, you creating an invention. Someone's working on an app. Congratulations. And it's going to be very lucrative. This is something you could have been also building and creating and working on for a long time, but keeping it to yourself, so that you can be successful. But you are someone who you find yourself able to manifest and create and develop better when you don't have so many people and so much energy is given access to whatever you are involved in. This could be something that you figured out about yourself. So you are trusting a positive outcome. And because, you're someone who understands that thoughts become things, and the mind is all. You have a very strong understanding and a spiritual fine-tuned connection with source, with the divine. You are someone who follows their intuition. You do follow the nudges that you get. You're not someone to go against the grain. Okay. Very spiritual person, whomever you are. All are welcome on this channel. Doesn't matter what your beliefs are. Okay. As I said, spiritual here, the Hierophant pops up. So very confident in who you are, very confident in the career you have, the life you've chosen for yourself. I don't see you as anyone that's being a follower. You're a leader. You could be someone who has a lab or office at your home that, just as well as this depiction here is crowded with a lot of information, you could spend a lot of time in your office or your lab creating and developing, working towards this project or this idea, because it's going to make you very successful. Okay, it's going to make you very successful. And so the Hierophant energy also represents, the divine, but also leadership. And I was just saying, you are a leader, you have leadership qualities. And so you're living out your destiny, you're living out your purpose, you're following your intuition, your spiritual guidance as well. You're not someone who's partaking or trying to initiate something, to prove a point, or because this is what maybe my family want me to do, or this is tradition. No, this is something wholeheartedly that since you were a small child, you always fantasize and envision yourself having this particular lifestyle, this particular success or career. Okay. And so this message, just reading right off back, I'm seeing clearly this is about having a successful, abundant life, but also in your relationships, whether you're married, whether you're just dating someone, even in your friendships, having a lot of harmony and lot of cohesiveness in your life. And I also see, I'm picking up that you are very mindful. You're very mindful of the company you keep. Some people may want to call you a nerd, a bookworm, okay? And that's a compliment. As I say nerd, it's a compliment. A smarty pants. Maybe this is something people call you, maybe coming up as a child, or maybe people call you boring, you're square. You're someone who always has been interested in learning. You're like a sponge. You love to read, you love to learn, and you find a fascination with learning new things and taking on new challenges, okay? And so all that you have experienced, all the teasing and mocking, you don't mind it. You don't take it as an insult. You know where you're headed, okay? And you're headed to success, okay? Very well. Very well. You have a lot of wisdom, a lot of knowledge, a lot of wisdom. You have a lot to share, okay? And you're paying attention, to the signs and the symbols. As you see question here, I don't know if you can see that, but then it says symbol. You're very, like I said, you're following your intuition, you're following your spiritual guidance. You're not someone to hear that small voice and disregard it and go in the opposite direction. You're paying attention to the signs and synchronicities that are around you, because you understand how your spirit guides communicate with you. You also understand how the divine communicates as well. Okay. And so you're not out here all just willy nilly, you're on your way to your 10 of cups. This is an overflow of prosperity. This is love. This is a divine connection and harmony. As I just mentioned, someone could be saving to purchase a wedding ring. Maybe you're going to propose to someone, male or female. Okay. I'm hearing happy wife, happy life. Okay. Maybe you envision always being married and having your own family. This is also a desire of yours that you're bringing into fruition. It's really happening for you. And I'm seeing this before I even touch any more cards. You know who you are. This is very specific. If you're watching this read, if you are someone who's ambitious or working towards progress. And this can be in many areas, even if I did not name what you're working on. Maybe you did go to school to further your education. Maybe you're just saving money. Maybe you're working on your self-esteem. Maybe you're working on your health. This could be a lot of things. Maybe you're fixing up your home, doing some remodelings and moving things around. Maybe you're giving yourself an upgrade. Maybe you're giving yourself a makeover, male or female. This could be many areas of your life where you're choosing to step up and stand in your power in order to create the life that you desire, living a life that will make you happy. Yeah, Two of Cups. So it's success, a lot of success and love in this reading, like right off the top. A lot of success in love, okay? Maybe you are someone who's going to, I don't know, maybe offer a prenup agreement, to whomever you are getting engaged to, because you do have a lot of assets. You do have a lot of things to protect as well. It's not that you're looking forward to a separation, but with those papers there, the document there, you could be offering a prenup. You could be someone very financially well off, very well connected. You have a lot, not to perpetuate a divorce, but you have a lot to consider. And you see the home in the background here. You could also be someone who's tied to a lot of real estate, a lot of property as well. Okay. It looks, and I'm also picking up, you're someone, for some of you, you have everything except for a mate, except for a husband or a wife, if that's what you desire. All are welcome on this channel. Does not matter what your belief system is. People have different preferences. Some people don't believe in marriage, and that's okay, and that's their business, okay? So if it's not marriage for you, maybe you have found the person you want to settle down with. This could just be your live-in spouse, someone you want to make memories with, someone you want to share your life with. And I'm hearing travel with. You could have plans of traveling with with your mate, okay, with your significant other. Mhm. You've dated many people, but you finally found that one with the Six of Pentacles, someone who could meet you in the middle, meet you halfway, someone who is established, I'm picking up you could have been dating people who they are aesthetically pleasing, spirit is saying, but they have nothing to bring to the table. They have nothing going on for themselves. You finally met someone who has something to offer. Who has their own thing going, no, who has a career going, or if not a career, a hobby going. Someone who has a life of their own, because this energy here is someone who's very business oriented and business savvy. To be with the 10 of cups out here in the Hierophant, this is someone who is a leader. This is someone in authority. This is someone who has a lot of motion going on. A lot of motion that's bringing the 10 of cups, that's bringing the success, the abundance, the overflow. And so, it makes sense. If you're someone who's business savvy, you're very successful, of course you would want your spouse to have their own something going on. Now, they don't have to match, everything you're doing, but have something going on for themselves. I'm hearing something, even if they're not employed, a hobby, or maybe something they do in leisure time. I'm picking up, it has been a problem for you dating, because the people you've been dating were people who've had nothing going on. And meaning, when I say nothing, I'm not just talking about employment. These are people who just maybe just wanted to sit at home and look pretty all day. They had no future plans. They had no goals set for themselves. And you were interested, because we all have different preferences. You were interested in someone who has some kind of, if it's not a career, a skill, or a hobby, something that creates their own, a life of their own something to do on a daily. Okay. And while this is coming up in this read, possibly in the past, you may have dated or given significant others a chance to be in a relationship with you, but it didn't work, because these were people who were idle, who were, at home with nothing to do. And I'm hearing you will even appreciate if they have a hobby. A hobby can be something that is fun for leisure, but you've dated people in the past who had nothing going on with themselves. And there was someone who stayed so hyperly focused on you, and you didn't have time for that. You're busy in business meetings. You're busy making it happen, investing, creating. You could also be part of some kind of legacy, some kind of brand that's connected to your family for some of you as well. Take the parts that resonate, collective. This is a very Pacific read. Okay, so you've given, you've had that experience with someone who had nothing going on. They had no goals set for themselves. Even in conversation, if you were to ask this person, what would you like to do? And they had no response for you. You tried to cohabitate in a relationship with someone like that, and it didn't work, because they had so much idle time on their hands that they chose to focus on just you. And that makes sense. A idle mind will have a person's mind wondering. And oftentimes wandering in the wrong direction, thinking or assuming that maybe you're cheating and you're not. You're at the office, you're putting in overtime, or you're doing something related to the progress or creating success or prosperity for your family, being accused of things that you were not guilty of. But this was because this person you dated in the past, they had nothing going on for them. And so it left a lot of open space for them to just sit around and have 101 inferior thoughts of negative energy. And so it didn't work. And so moving forward, you made your mind up, whomever you are, which is very smart, to make sure you date someone that at least has a hobby. Okay, so you're not picky, you're not arrogant, male or female, whomever you are, but you're very successful, financially stable, and very secure. I'm going to say you're very secure. And the things that you are working on now is just increasing more overflow. I wouldn't be shocked if the Ace of Cups came out. It's increasing. It's bringing more and more overflow to you, okay? And so we have the Queen of Cups energy here. And so, you're using your intuition, as I said, very intuitive. You're not disregarding the spiritual nudges, and that's why you are successful. You could have people wondering, how is it that you are repetitively successful? Because this is not someone collective that has one thing going on. They have their hands in a lot of pots and a lot of different investments, and they're all successful. It's paying off for them in one way or another, whether this is, I'm investing in stocks, or buying shares of someone's business, real estate, something about a transporting company someone owns, or they're partnering with someone. They have a lot of different things going at one time. And, to have a particular lifestyle and to be successful and create that generational wealth, this 10 of cups here, and being able to have options in the lifestyle that you desire, this is what it takes. And I see you doing the work, and you're being very wise of who you choose to share this with you. You're not someone who's just looking for a seat filler. You've been there, you've done that, and it didn't work out. Makes sense. Like attracts like, and you have to get someone, who has a life of their own. And, it doesn't matter what your tax bracket is. I must say, in any relationship, whether it's marriage, dating, or not, I believe every person must have their own thing going on. You have to have a life of your own. What is that saying they used to say? Get a life. Yeah. Everyone should have their own, circle of friends, or their own social group, or their own hobbies that they do, outside of their relationship. You have to have something else that you're focused on, instead of being hyper focused on, is somebody cheating on me? And where you at? Or you was at their house too long, focusing on the negativity. If you're occupied, that doesn't mean that you're naive or you're being oblivious if someone is wronging you or being deceitful. But it is a wonderful idea, to have your own life, your own thing to tend to on a daily basis, And even if it's not employment, it could be a hobby. Like I'm picking up in this read, something you go and do, a dance class. I don't know, maybe you're taking ballrooming lessons, a cooking class, or maybe you're on a bowling league. Maybe you meet up with a team and go bowling, shoot pool, whatever, But it's a good idea to not be idle. When you're in a relationship, have something going on for yourself, so you're not hyper focused. Okay, because those thoughts, I don't mind those inferior thoughts, those negative dark thoughts will latch on to you. If you have nothing to do, there is an energy that will give you something to do. Okay, and so perfectly well with the high priestess here, you're very well balanced. And as I stated earlier, you have a lot of wisdom, that you have learned, you have obtained, you have gained. And that's why you're very successful. Very successful. You may have up and down moments where maybe an investment may not pay off as much, but I'm hearing something trickles down. Something's always trickling for you. You know, yeah, yeah, something's always just going for you, but you're someone who works hard, okay? And so you could also have a goal, a plan. You are whoever you are, you got things in order. And it's like you have a list and you're checking them off and following them. So you have a plan to retire within so many years or so much time. And so you're going hard in the paint right now because you have a plan to retire and relax. So what you're doing, you're positioning yourself to where you'll be able to do so. Okay. And maybe that's when you're going to take this trip. I'm hearing something about somebody wants to travel around the world with their spouse. That's your plan. Okay. So you're making preparations for that now. Okay. Mhm. And so, with the King of Cups energy, this is love again. Yeah, love, balance, creativity. You're using your creativity, you're very balanced, and love. Yes, you have love in your life, and you're very interested, in seeking. If you have not met that one, you will meet that one because it's here in this read. You're very interested. This reading is so clear, so clear. I love it. I love it. I love it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's like that's the missing piece for you, someone to share it with, but someone who is deserving and someone who is really interested in you, not just what you have to give. Materialism is fine and cool, but at the end of the day, you really want someone who cares about you, not someone who's just there for the temporary pleasures. Because, you know, um, it's like it's kind of like the idea of a kid asking for a toy and being anxious to get that toy, and you go and buy it, and you find out less than a week that toy is in the corner, forgot about, and never touched again. You want to make sure that whoever you connect with, that it is genuine and it is someone who will, you can grow old with and you can trust. Something about trust is coming up here. because you have a lot of success, okay? Especially if you plan on reproducing with this person and having children. You don't want someone to link up with you because they know about your business ventures. You could be someone that when you date people, you don't expose all, which is wise of you. Spirit is saying keep that going, male or female, because you could be a female or a male in this energy here. You don't let everybody know what's going on right away because you're aware that there are people who will attach themselves to you pretending just to get a piece of the pie of what you have, okay? Lots of intelligence. You know, you are following your agenda. You know who you are, you know where you want to go. There is no confusion here. You can see very clear. I don't even see, you know, no one can even come in and try to pull wool over your eyes. No one can come in and try to fool you, collective. You're very wise and smart, very wise, very smart. You know, even the people you collaborate with, you know, they trust and have chosen you to do business with because of your reputation. Okay. I'm hearing there's always a wonderful turnaround or turnout with you when it comes to business. Okay. So likely when you're gathering ideas, when you're in meetings with people, you've had a positive turnaround whenever you maybe make promises or you distribute your ideas on investments or projects. Okay. This could be real estate. Someone is connected to a whole lot of property, a whole lot of property. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. This could be property that's connected to your family. Okay. Mm-hmm. Someone has a, I'm hearing corporation of apartment buildings, like not one building, like maybe the city or state that you live in, maybe your family owns or is connected to like several properties that's under one corporate, um, one corporate, you know, in different locations, east, west, north, south, maybe one in the urban area, maybe one in the suburban area kind of energy. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Legacy, they're saying legacy, it's in the family. Some of the property is in the family. Maybe you've also purchased additional property. This could be rental property, okay, that you also receive income from. You could also be a wonderful landlord. That's for someone. Your tenants love you. You're honest, you're straightforward, okay? You're someone who maintains your property. This is very Pacific. This is very Pacific. And so in this lifetime, you know, with the star card being in upright, this is confirmation that you are on the right path. This is happiness. This is good luck, good fortune, and you having faith and believing in yourself, not allowing a moment, a brief moment, you know, of naysayers or someone trying or someone or something trying to make you feel hopeless, even in your business investments, you know. Life is not perfect for you, though you are a wealthy person, you're financially comfortable. You still have things that you go through as well. You know, people assume that if you have a lot of money or you're wealthy, that you don't experience anything. But I'm picking up someone who's financially wealthy, but you have things that you go through as well. You have moments where sometimes you may be frustrated or maybe not getting along with a business partner, or maybe something isn't right and you have to check somebody about it. But you have found a way on your path, and something about your upbringing to not allow the ways of the world, something about the ways of the world to move you and persuade you into sadness. It's something about, here they go, legacy again. It's something about what you're connected to, the status of your family, the reputation, the status of your family. Like I heard legacy, apartment buildings, a corporation of buildings, several of them. And they are occupied. This isn't property that is sitting still and no one is living in them. These properties are occupied. Okay, there are streams of incomes coming from these properties, whether they're rental properties or they're rent to own properties, whether these are Airbnbs. You know, they are occupied. But you have learned, you know, how to maintain your confidence and what to do in those times where you may feel you need a boost or a push up, or you feel you're worn out. And as I mentioned earlier, you're very spiritually inclined and confident in who you are, as well as your belief system. And this is bringing you success. This is bringing you success. You're not disregarding the spiritual nudges, your intuition, your inner niggle, your inner wiggle. You're not, you know. And you're someone, they're drawing me back to the Hierophant. You're someone to take time to figure it out. And you figured out the keys to success, the keys to life. Right here it says who, what, where, when, and how. You don't mind plot planning and strategizing so you can be successful and ball first. Okay. Many say what they want and what they hope for and they desire, but it's all about doing the work. And in this read, baby, you're doing the work. You're doing the work. It's even in your family, in your bloodline. This success that you are in, it runs in your family. This is who you are. This is what you're known for. Your name, something about your last name. Maybe you're well known, well respected in the city, state, or community. People love you. They say your tenants even love you. You're a wonderful landlord. So this could be someone like takes care of their properties. If there's an issue, you're fair. I hear someone say, I try to be. Well, people feel like you're fair. They feel that you are fair. There's a lot of love out there for you, okay? Yeah, but back to romance. It's coming up again. Someone to care, someone to TLC, tender love and care, and share those intimate moments with and share life with, all that you're building, all that you're creating, and making a house a happy home. No, a house is not a home. Yeah. Yes, you looking for love, collective love, love. Some of you have found that one, and some of you are still possibly dating, okay? Some of you will get married, and some of you just will have just a live-in spouse or someone who you make memories with, okay? So take what parts resonate with you. Leave the rest for someone else, okay? Yeah. With the death card in the upright, this is you constantly transforming your life, and it's getting better and better and better. More success, more success. What you are establishing is generational wealth. So whomever you are going to marry and have these children with, your children's children will have something. You'll be leaving a legacy behind. You'll be leaving a brand behind. You'll be leaving property behind. Not saying something's going to happen to you, but you're creating generational wealth, and you're creating it without you even knowing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. hmm You've put so much hard work, whomever you are. I even see you sometimes doing the work yourself. If a tenant was to call you regarding a repair and maybe you couldn't get a contractor to the home in a specific time and maybe it's an urgent matter, I see you as the type of landlord that would go and do the job yourself just to make sure that you're being fair to your tenant. Not to be cheap, but to make sure you're being fair and not keeping them in conditions that are unfavorable. You're always trying your hardest at maintaining the balance. If you can see the scales there, you're always working to do your best. No one is perfect in this world, but you're someone who's always reaching to be fair to people because you appreciate, you understand that your tenants are part of, why you are able to live and do the life that you are living. Even though you have your hands in a lot of different investments, you respect and appreciate those who support and do business with you in anything that you're involved in. Okay. This is like someone owning a convenience store. You say thank you to the customers or have a nice day or good morning and how are you? This is showing appreciation. And you do that with how you do business, how you interact, and how you communicate. Now I'm hearing I have respect for all. Okay. I have respect for all. I try to. I keep hearing I try to. Yeah. So you know which way you want to go. You know how you want to show up in your life. There is no confusion. There's lots of clarity. Lots of clarity. For someone, things are going to move very fast. Whoever this is that's getting married, things are going to move very fast for you. Not in a bad way, but you'll be, getting married. Next thing you know, you have two or three children running around the house, and you'll be looking back you in admiration and gratitude, at your children, your grandchildren, all that you build. And yeah, that's for somebody Pacific. Yeah, you've dated many, but none can match your flair. None can match your fly. You're very kind-hearted and giving as well. That's something you're going to have to be careful with. Maybe you're trying to gain control of being so nice and kind. Very giving. If you see someone needs something, you're likely to try to take care of it. That could be something that you're working on, collective. Not over giving. And that's why you're mindful, working on maintaining your balance, okay? And who you get involved with personally or romantically. And so with the Six of Cups energy here, this is happiness and harmony. And as I's been speaking, this entire read, you have a lot of harmony and cohesiveness in your life. But this is from you putting in the work and applying yourself where necessary. This is not someone sitting on their hands. This is not someone laying around drinking and smoking all day or partying. This is someone who is very responsible. You know how to prioritize and put first things first. And the momentum of you prioritizing in your life is helping you build increasingly more success and wealth for you and generations to come behind you as well. And so with the Six of Cups energy here, this is harmony and this is happiness. Okay. And so, you are looking for someone to be your peace when you come home from work or from the office. You want to have a mate or a spouse, you know, um, who knows how to carry themselves. I'm hearing maybe you've dated people in the past who were, I'm hearing, very loud, lacked the ability of class. That's the message. Okay, maybe you took someone somewhere and you got embarrassed. Okay, it's what you do for a living. You want to have a spouse that you can take with you to different events, different venues, different business meetings. If you get invited somewhere, you don't want to leave your spouse behind. You want someone who is able to adapt, socialize, and show up and present themselves in a manner that represents you and what you stand for. I'll say that. Okay. So maybe you've had experience in the past where picking up, you took someone somewhere and you trusted that they were going to be okay and things didn't turn out okay. And maybe you were embarrassed. It happens. It happens. Okay. hmm So you're very determined. You could have water or fire placement in your chart. This energy here represents determination, and you're very determined. You're very determined when it comes to what you want, what you desire. You're standing in your power, and you're utilizing your creative space. There are a lot of people who have skills and gifts, and they choose not to tap into them. They have even been inspired throughout their life. People tell them how great their food is or how wonderful of a hairdresser or makeup artist that they are, and they choose not to act on them. But you have chosen to take your skills and your gifts, and you are monetizing and expanding, and it's very beautiful. This is very beautiful. You could also be someone who's creating some kind of I don't know, skincare treatment. You could be developing some kind of body oils as well. As I see this shelf of tincture bottles there, you could be developing some kind of skincare treatments or some kind of body oils. Okay, you could be selling these products online. Okay, or you may meet someone, collective, who has their own business that is online. Okay, because you are someone who's desiring to meet someone who has their own thing going. So you may come across someone who's an entrepreneur in their own right. Okay, they do have something going on, that they're creating and they're working on aggressively as you're working on yours as aggressively as well. Okay. Very, very beautiful. Very, very beautiful. So this concludes the read. I trust and hope it assists you for your highest good. Later.